street patrol program where we hand out sandwiches to the homeless people in downtown Ottawa.
Development and Peace.
The War Child Club.
Concordia.
Fair Trade Coffee Breaks. The SOA Trip.
Development and Peace.
It's kind of like that quote, now that I've seen, I'm responsible, that we're all in this together. We are all in relationship with one another. Really just challenge everyone to take a look at the person next to you and just recognize that relationship that we all have with one another.
I have to take the time to be alone and to listen for God's voice and to converse with God, mostly listening. So that is where my regeneration comes from, really, is bottom line from prayer.
Maintain connections between different students and across the country, the importance of having a community that people can draw strength from, and that people can feel that they're part of something that's bigger than themselves and that they're not alone is really important. Free food.
One challenge on our campus is to try to include people of different faiths.
There's so many good groups, and that's a great thing, but I think there isn't enough collaboration between the different groups and enough communication.
Connecting my faith with my passion in social justice.
People on campus involved, because it's students and they have pretty busy time schedules, as well as we're students, so we're broke.
I always get too involved in too many issues and just don't focus on one thing that I can change, and I end up not doing anything about anything just because I'm just so unfocused on what I want to do.
I find Jesus is in joy and in laughter and just the goodness in people.
It's knowing that wherever I am, like whenever it is, I'm not alone, and that God is always with me.
There's the earth. I think this is a really important place to look for Christ, and a lot of times it's kind of missed, just because we do live in a society where we're very separated from it. And I mentioned again downstairs that trees to me are just the earth's highest expression of just praising and celebrating life. They're reaching up to the sky, and I every time I look at trees, it's amazing. And every time you're in a situation where you're completely engulfed in nature, you just feel, that's when I just feel God, and I feel his or her presence, and it's incredible.
One of the most vivid images I have from doing this is there's a guy who through a lack of circulation and started losing his fingers and toes, and he was one of the happiest people I'd ever met, and I couldn't understand it, how he could be so happy with where he was in life, sitting on a wheelchair on the corner of a street begging for money. But he was the most joyful person I'd probably ever met, and it took me a long time to figure out why he was so happy, but I realized it's just that great love for what the little gifts that God has given us, and seeing his joy for his life, his zeal for spreading just his little bit of love on his street corner made me think a lot more about how Christ works in my life, and how seeing Christ in all that I do is very, very important.
We've been baptized with the Spirit, and the Spirit is going to set us on fire.
I've met Christ basically in every person that I try to help, and everyone that I've worked with in development and peace, because they are all living by the values of Christ.
I've met Christ in my work, I think, in the weakest, most vulnerable people, the people that you wouldn't consider to have the greatest abilities in society. Those people tend to have the face of Christ for me.
You encounter people, especially situations in which it seems like life couldn't be any more dark. It seems like these people have gone through so much hell, and in that there's joy, and there's this realizing that life is bigger than what we think, and that there's joy in everything, and in that I most certainly have seen Jesus in.
events don't have to be fancy. They can just be simple things, like a Buy Nothing Day or something like that. But just to spark people's interest and get people excited about things that you're doing.
It's just keep persevering, and there are passionate people out there. So.
Just do what's right for you. Every campus is different. Certain things work in certain places. Some places are bigger, some places are smaller. So just do whatever would work best for your campus.
Small groups have a big impact. Numbers don't matter.
Just be passionate. Social justice is awesome.
You really must be the change you wish to see in the world. This is kind of the quote that got me through my year away.
To go out and get involved with other groups through campus, to reach out and just try different things, go out and meet different people, and just take any opportunity that comes towards you.
There are other students out there who are working towards the same cause and who are just as passionate about social justice as you are.
Keep smiling in everything you do, in all the work you do. Remember that this is for justice, and so in some respect, it's very serious. But because it's for justice, it does bring joy, and it should bring joy, and it should be fun. So no matter what, keep smiling.
No matter where you're from, no matter who you are, we're all God's children and we are equal. And I think it's so powerful that we're all brothers and sisters. So it's definitely my insight. We're all in this together, baby. Oh, I should have said baby.